Assalamu alaikum dear students. In the series of learning C programming, we are discussing file handling in C. In the previous video, we have discussed what is file pointer, how to create a file pointer, and what is file open function. That all have been discussed very thoroughly and minutely in the previous video. And in today's video, we are going to discuss how to write into a file. As I have already told you in the previous video, there are 6 modes to write, 6 modes through which we can perform operations on the files. I have told you that there is a W mode, W plus, R plus, and A plus mode. Now in this video we will discuss how to write into a file, how to write something into a file, how we can write character to a file, how we can write string to a file, how we can write integer, for example number, character, or a string to a file. That all we will discuss it in today's video very minutely with the help of the example. So as we know that, for example, this is our hard disk and this is our main memory, RAM, and this is our hard disk. Whenever we want to access a file, we know that the files are usually present in the hard disk. Files in the hard, whenever we want to store a data permanently, we store them in the form of the files. And those files are stored in the hard disk. For example, this is a file in a hard disk and its name is abc.txt. Whenever we want to perform any operation on this file, first of all, it must be loaded into the main memory. It must be loaded into the main memory. For example, this is a buffer. Some memory is allocated in the main memory RAM as a buffer, for example. Well, first of all, we have to load, in order to perform any operation on this file, first of all, we must load into the main memory. The copy of this file is going to be loaded into the main memory here in the buffer. And more precisely, we can say into the buffer. But there are 2 cases. Whenever we want to perform any operations on the file, there must be 2 cases. There may be 2 cases. First, either the file exists in the hard disk or it may not exist. That means either the file is already present in the hard disk or the file does not exist in the hard disk. क्योंकि यम साथ इस कौन से ऑपरेशन फाइल पे करन छ अस पेवान ये फाइल अनि कंटेंट कॉपी करवान छ लोड करने मेन मेमोरी में कि कौन से ऑपरेशन छ करन इसके कटनस मेन मेमोरी पर तासे कोस कौन से युस ता पर कौन से परफॉर्म करो कौन से ऑपरेशन करो उसका उस कटनस मेन मेमोरी रैमस में so we have to load this copy of this memory, this file into this main memory in the buffer. But there may be 2 cases. Either the file is already present. If the file is already present, then we can load the copy of this file is going to be loaded into the buffer. Okay, and then then we can perform the operation on it. Or if the file does not exist, then what can we do? In that case, first of all, we have to create a file here. We have to create a file in hard disk, and then its copy is going to be loaded into the main memory, into the RAM. There are 2 cases. Whenever we open the file, but we can create a file by using the file open function. There may be either the file already exists. If the file already exists, the copy of that file is going to be loaded into the main memory, in the buffer, in the RAM. And if the file does not exist, then first we have to create the file, then it is going to be loaded into the main memory. Its copy is going to be loaded into the main memory. Okay. Now, for example, we assume that file is already present. We have already created the file abc.txt. Then what we can? First, it is going to be loaded into the main memory. In fact, more precisely, we can say here, contents of this file is going to be loaded here. For example, these are the contents which are present in this file. It is going to be loaded here. And object of that file is the file object. For example, here, for example, this man program, man First, we have to create a file. We have to open the file. Whenever we perform, we want to perform any operation on the file. First, it must be opened. We have to first open that file. And I have already told you in the previous video that we can perform any operation on the files only with the help of the file pointer. So we have to create the file pointer. How we create the file pointer? Take care. Man, first file ptr. Here I have created a pointer of type file. This ptr is the pointer whose data type is file. That means ptr is the file type pointer. That means this ptr, for example, this is a ptr. It will hold the address of file type pointer. It will hold the address of the file. For example, if this is a file object, its address will get stored in this ptr. First, we have to copy this buffer here, the contents of this file here, and it will now, for example, if this is a file, it will create a object of file type, and now this ptr will hold the address of this object. Now, in order to perform any operations on the file, first we have to open that file. Now, how we can open a file? How we can create a file? We have already told you that there is a function, for example, fopen, the syntax of fopen, and its syntax, first of all, we have to give the file name, that is abc.txt text. Then, in which mode we want to open that? There are 6 modes. There are 6 modes to open the file. W mode, W plus mode, R mode, R plus mode, A mode, and A plus mode. For example, we want to open it in a W mode. That is. Now, this complete line will return a pointer. It will return a pointer address that is going to be stored in a ptr. This line, what would this line does? What would be the output? What of the execution of this line? What will happen? This line will copy the contents of this ABC file into the buffer, and there will be created a file object which will return the address, which will return the address of this file object, and that is going to be stored in ptr. Now we can say that ptr contains the address of this file ABC. Now we can say this ptr contains the address of ABC file. Okay. So here we have opened this in the right mode. That means we want to write something to this file, into this file. In order to write something into the file, there are 3 different functions. Take care. There are 3 different functions to write something into the file. What are these? These functions are, first, here I will write here. First is fputc. Second is fputs. And third is fprintf. These are the 3 different file functions: fputc, fputs, fprintf. These functions can be used to write something into the files. Now, what is the role of the, what does fputc does, what fputc do, and what fprintf do? We know this fprintf, for example, here I can write fputc. If we want to write a single character to the file, if we want to write a single character to a file, we can use fputc. That means fputc is a file function which is used to write a single character to a file. अगर 8 character, single एक character ऐसे एक अपनी file पे write कर तब success करा इस्तेमाल fputc. So we can say fputc is the function which is used to write a single character to a file. As we have already discussed in the previous functions, there that putc is used to write a character to a output screen. Putc is used if there is not a simply putc is a function which is used to write a character to output screen to display a character. And similarly, puts is used simple puts is used to write a string to the output screen, and printf is used to write anything that means formatted output. Character, we can say character, number, float, or a string. So in here, fputc, f means file, putc. fputc is a function which is used to write a character to a file, into a file. If we want to write a single character to a file, at that time we use the fputc. And what is that? Now, what is it? Is syntax fputc, and similarly fputc we can write here fputc. For example, here ch equal to a. Here I have declared a character. Ch is a variable of type character, which I have initialized by a. Here a is the character which is going to be stored in ch, which is of type Kia. Now, what is the syntax? Syntax is simple syntax. ptr ch, that is it. ptr ch. What is ptr? ptr the address of the file pointer, and ch is the a. By using this command, by using this line, what will happen? That the ch a will be written into the file whose pointer is ptr, that means abc. MC क्या कैसे करूँ? A connect to second point में सुधा छे, yes means right. ABC yes means no character A. That means if we want to write a single character at that time we use it. This is the syntax. Or more we can say here also. We can write also as this way. Put fputc ptr, and simply we can write C. Yeah, A. Directly we can write A. Through this, what will happen? Sorry. Here, first we have to write a ptr pointer name, then ch, and here ptr pointer name, then A. That is. And after that, we have to close the file ptr. Whenever that, what will happen? That now this, after execution, this line ftr, this will get erased, and the contents of this file will get appended here again. Okay. So we can say a single character. If we want to append, if we want to write a single character to a file, at that time we use the putc. Now, if we want to write a string, what is string? A string is a group of characters and closed in the double quotes. If we want to write a string to a file, at that time we use the function this fputs. Fputs is the function which is used to write a string to a character. Here, for example, here I am going to initialize this string. Here, ch is the name of the string, and 50 is the size, equal to Yusuf. Here, simply I can write put s. Now the string name. What is the string name? String name is ch, comma ptr. chputr. Ch is the name of the string and ptr is the file pointer. Through this way, we can write string into a file. That means if we want to write more than one character, group of characters at a time to a file, at that time we use this fputs. Fputs is the function which is used to write a group of characters, or you can say it is used to write a string into a file. This is the way. Or we can also write this way, fputs directly. Instead of this, we can write Yusuf, Y-O-U-S-U-F in double quotes, and then the file name. That is it. And after that, we have to close. It is important. Close ptr. Whenever we perform any function on the file, first we have to open it. And after performing that function, after performing that operation, we must close that file. जरूरी हम साथ कांटे ऑपरेशन पिन के फाइल पर जैसे करें गॉड मैसेज करें ओपन ये ओपन कर सो ऑपरेशन करने पास सा काम करने पास पास सा क्लोज करें okay so that it will get erased. Yes, memory in the RAM that will get released. That means fputs is the file function which is used to write a string into a file, and this is the syntax. It is the way, it is how we can write string to a file. Now, third function, that is the fprintf. 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 For example, if we want to write different data into the file. For example, we want to write integer data, character data, or float data, or string data, different data into the file. At that time, we use the fprintf file. This function, fprintf function. That means we can also say it. It's also called the formatted output. And there, if we want to write different data, different types of data, that is integer, character, float, or string, into the file, at that time we use the fprintf function by using the format specifiers. Just like here. For example, here I want to store. For example, I want to write in this file a file and 5 and a. We know that 5 is an integer type and a is a character type. Now here, first I want to store for integer a equal to 5 or c character, and next one here d equal to c. Now I want to write this 5 and c into the file. At that time we use the fprintf. This is the syntax. Fprintf, pointer name is the ptr. Fpf, pointer name is the ptr. Then format specifiers. We know that the format specifier for integer is %d. Format specifier for this character is %c, and then the name of the variable a and c, d, and that is it. Down file, close ptr. So now we can, in nutshell, we can say in order to write a single character into a string, we use the fputc. In order to write a group of characters, or you can say a string to a string, we use the fputs function. And in order to write a different data types, different types of data into the file, at that time we use the fprintf. And also we have to specify the format specifiers. We know that for integer the format specifier is %d, for character the format specifier is %c, and for string it is the %s. I hope now you have understood now what is the file pointer and how we can write the various how we can write something into the file, how we can write character into the file, how we can write integer into the file, how we can write string into the file, and also what is, I hope now you heard what is W mode. W mode is nothing, we can open this file in write mode. When we want to write something to the file, at that time we have to open it in the write mode, that means W mode. Okay, but also we have to take that in some cases, whenever we are going to open this file, in some cases due to some error, the file does not exist, or this line does not return the pointer due to some errors. At that time, it is best that first of all we should initialize this ptr with null, ptr, and after that here ptr and first here we have to write from this like if here mention if ptr equal to null, then printf file not exist, and simply exit. That is it. Else we have to. Kun saat due to some errors, yes, file se address asan ya file ki return karan pointer kin, to tan saat file ke error is. तो इस पर हैबिट बनाऊं स्टार्ट से साथ इसका पॉइंटर क्रिएट करो तो इसका इनिशियलाइज विद नल, बट अगर ये तन पॉइंटर रिटर्न गो तेरे अगर पीटीआर नल रू दैट मींस तेरे को अपने एड्रेस छन अपने स्टोर गसान किन तो दैट मींस कि तेरे गनी फाइल इतनस ओपन के कॉपी ऑफ दिस फाइल वाज नीडनेस किन तो तेरे कस्टम साथ मैसेज ने आवे कि फाइल छन किन तो अगर फाइलर्स अगर ptr nalos in that means तेरे अपने एड्रेस तो तेरे है कुछ बाकी को बात करे बाकी. Now I hope now that you have understood what is file pointer, what is fputc, what is fputs, what is fprintf, and how we can write various types of the data into the file. That all we have discussed it now in this video very thoroughly and minorly. In the next video, inshallah, we will discuss some more concepts regarding their files. Till next video, take care. Bye bye.